This just unfolded, and it can shift the next few hours in ways most people are not seeing yet. Stop scrolling, stay here, subscribe now, turn on alerts, because what is happening right now is not random, not isolated, and not over. A few moments ago, raw voices captured confusion, fear, disbelief. People watching in real time, no filters, no delay. A situation unfolding in public space, above ground, exposed, with ordinary people realizing too late that something was deeply wrong. This matters now because this is not just about what happened in one place. It is about how fast normal turns into chaos and how unprepared systems still are when seconds decide everything. Here is what is confirmed so far: a public structure, multiple individuals, a confrontation that escalated in front of witnesses, panic spreading faster than information, people trying to understand what they were seeing while it was still happening. The key detail is not the confrontation itself. The key detail is that it unfolded openly, with no immediate barrier between risk and civilians. That is why this is trending. That is why this is being shared. That is why silence right now is dangerous. What most coverage is focusing on is the shock. What they are avoiding is the sequence. How one moment triggered another, how access, timing, and hesitation stacked up, and how bystanders realized too late that they were not watching a clip, they were inside an event. Ask yourself this: why was there no early interruption? Why did it last long enough to be recorded from multiple angles? Why were people left trying to interpret danger instead of receiving clear signals? And why does this pattern keep repeating in different cities, different countries, different headlines, with the same outcome of confusion first and clarity later? This is where the uncomfortable analysis starts. These situations do not erupt out of nowhere. They form in gaps. Gaps in monitoring, gaps in response speed, gaps in how public spaces are designed, and gaps in how warnings are communicated. When those gaps line up, you do not get prevention, you get reaction. Notice something else: the language of the witnesses. Disbelief, fear, trying to make sense of it while it is happening. That tells you everything about preparedness. People were not trained to recognize escalation. They were left guessing. And guessing in moments like this costs time. Now, zoom out. The real impact is not only emotional, it is social. It changes how people move, how they trust public spaces, how they assess risk in everyday routines. It adds another layer of tension to cities already stretched thin. And economically, it forces authorities to react after the fact instead of investing before the fact. That always costs more, financially, politically, socially. If this escalates, two paths appear. The first is the controlled path: rapid clarification, transparent updates, visible adjustments in security and access, clear messaging that restores a sense of order. That path reduces long-term damage but requires speed and honesty. The second path is the unstable one: delayed information, conflicting narratives, clips spreading faster than facts, fear filling the vacuum. That path amplifies anxiety and erodes trust, and once that happens, reversing it is slow and expensive. Right now, the direction is not fully decided, and that's the critical point. The next responses will matter more than the initial incident itself, because people are watching how leaders, platforms, and institutions react under pressure. Do not ignore the timing, do not ignore the location, and do not ignore how fast ordinary moments turned into emergency. This is a reminder, not a spectacle, a reminder that prevention is invisible when it works and painfully obvious when it fails. What happens next will define whether this becomes a closed chapter or the beginning of a wider conversation that no one in power wants to have. Stay alert, question the gaps, share responsibly, and subscribe now, because the next update will not wait, and neither will the consequences. What unfolds in the next hours will set the tone, and this is far from finished.